There we are, live on we're live on YouTube, live on Facebook, live on Instagram. Welcome to the pre-show, episode 221 of Wise Advice, and looks like I'm gonna have to reboot. Looks like I'm gonna have to reboot Facebook. So give me 2 seconds as I reboot Facebook, and we'll get that rolling. So Lee is in. Is it sideways, Lee, or does it look good for you? I think it looks sideways. Let me reboot Facebook. So hey, woohoo! Sorry, give me 2 seconds. Yep, sideways. So it's fine here, but let me reboot. Hang on. Whew. It's crazy. Facebook is crazy tonight. So let's get delete. Do. Come on. So, all right, we're getting there. There we go. Let's do that. There we go. Oh, that's still. All right, let's see if that is more better. All right, looks like we're back on Facebook, so we'll see if that fixes that. Crazy. Anyway, if you're live on Facebook, good evening. Again, welcome to episode 221. This is the pre-show of 221. In about 10 minutes or so, we'll get into the actual show. But Karen's here. Good evening to you. Looks like a lot of you joined in on Instagram. I was getting all that squared away. Alicia's here. Idaho, Betty's checking in. Good evening. Alice checking in. Hello. Good evening, all of you. So again, we're going to, let me just tighten this down before we lose it. Mandy's here. Woohoo! Coletta from Rockford checking in. Jill checking in from New York. Good evening to you. Karen from Long Island. Cheryl's here from Virginia. Good evening to you. Helen checking in from Oklahoma. Maria says, hello, I'm here. Rebecca is also in Oklahoma. Karen is saying hello to Diane. Lee, well, it wasn't a reboot, Lee. I had to... for some reason the sensor didn't recognize that the screen was rotated, so I had to fix that. Stella is here just for a few minutes at least. Good evening to you. Bonnie checking in from Kansas City. Andrea is here from Cleveland. Woohoo! Dana is saying she's here early from work. Very cool. Lynn just finished a workout. Great work. Good job getting it done. Colette is here. Colette, yeah, from Long Island as well. Colorado Springs checking in, Pam. Pam, thanks for, I saw a couple tags on Connect where you were sharing and providing the podcast as inspiration to other people. So thank you for sharing that. I truly, truly appreciate that. Kathy says here, woohoo, she's officially accepted as a receptionist. Good job. Congratulations. Crazy Diane from New York, good evening. Joan from Ohio, good evening. Therese from up in Chicago area, good evening to you as well. Bev says, working on my wise. Yep, it's good to be wise on this journey. That is definitely the key. Wendy and Travis, both of you are here. We'll see you in about a month, right? Woo! Crazy, crazy, crazy. Very, very fun. Marcia is here. Good evening. Andrea from Washington State is in the house. Anna says, well, thank you for reading my email in episode 220. You're very welcome. Thanks for sharing. That's kind of how it works. At some point, I will get way better at letting you know in advance when it's going to be on the air, so you don't have to look at your email, an hour before. But sometimes it is what it is. Northern Illinois, Lynette's checking in. Good evening. How are you? Dina says howdy. Boston, Jamie's checking in. Cheryl's checking in from Southern California. Bev says hi to Lee. Jeannie's here. Woohoo! Yay! Donna from Kentucky, good evening to you. Diane, good evening as well. Let's see. Melinda, hey y'all. Good evening to you. Did you say hi to my cousin yet? I told him about us meeting, so the next time you see him, he may know before you do. So very cool. Nicole's here. Good evening to you. Debbie, good evening. Judy says, do you remember me now, Judy? Yes. Weight Watcher met at Bar 54, and now we're talking about the The fit file, yes. The fit file, yes. So sometimes I get a little confused on scenarios, but yes, fit file makes perfect sense. So Judy's son is an app developer, and he made an app called FitFile. Check it out in the App Store. I downloaded it a while ago, but I guess there's a new update to it that I need to go check out. But yes, sorry about that the other night. I have two things. One is I have to try and remember, and two, and I have to try and balance it live. And sometimes I can't recall things that quickly as we go through it. But yes, makes perfect sense now. Very cool. Thanks for reminding me for sure. Daisy, hello. I go, whew, so glad when I see Daisy's name and I remember to say hi to Daisy. That's, that was, glad we got that out of the way. Janice from Bloomington, good evening. Pamela says, how can I not share? Total game changer. I appreciate that because it's hard for me to share on Connect. It makes it very difficult. I can't really post links and stuff in Connect, so I just don't. And so when you guys are able to share it, it certainly helps tremendously. So thank you for that. And it helps other people get the inspiration that they need to do what we're doing, which is very fun. Cheryl's asking if Daisy's here. Yes, Daisy is here. Yeah, we got that squared away. Lee from Arkansas, good evening to you. Lee had fun in an air chamber of some sort of skydiving. I forget what it's called. Angela checking in from Batesville, Indiana. Good evening to you. Let's see. Who else is here? Jan's asking, how do I see the video from the restaurant podcast? So here's the deal. So I get a little feedback on this. So this show right now on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram is a public broadcast, right? As you're interacting, as we're talking, anyone who is on Facebook can watch this. So I have two different kind of places. There is the Wise Wingman Facebook group, which is a closed private community. And then there is the Fat Dag page. I broadcast from the Fat Dag page so that it's accessible to everybody. So the video is on the Fat Dag page. So go into your Facebook, not in the Wise Wingman group, but into Facebook, and look for WhysAdvice or Fat Dag, and then click on the videos tab, and you'll see all the videos, and you will certainly see the one from the restaurant. It's in there. The audio only, obviously, is episode 219. But on the Facebook page, it certainly is available and will always be available there. So I hope that clears that up a little bit. Let's see. Kim is here. Good evening to you. Patricia, good evening to you. Newfoundland, Beth, good evening. We've officially gone international. I like that. Darlene says, hello from Texas. Love the indie after show. Yeah, so far that's been my favorite. Just because it was just way more fun just to kind of interact and just goof around. It was just so much fun. Allison says hello. Yeah. Let's see, Diane is saying hi to Kim. Let's see, San Diego, hope all is well. Denise, good to see you again. I see you every once in a while on Instagram and on Facebook, but we haven't chatted in forever. You need to come back to Indy. We miss you out here. Truly hope all is well out there for you. Let's see. Jill says, where are Keith's pictures from our meetup in New York? I haven't seen any of those, Jill. You're right. We'll have to ask Keith where those pictures went, because I have not seen any pictures from the New York meetup. It's a good question. Yeah. Melinda, yes, you do need to go see his statue. That's too funny. That's too funny. Let's see. It's Colette says, Daisy, hope your birthday was great. It was Daisy's birthday, so I missed that too. Happy birthday, Daisy, if it was yesterday. Very cool. Let's see. Scroll through. Texas. Lynn is here. Good evening to you. Lori is here. Debbie says, indoor skydiving. Yep, that's what it was. Judy is checking in from Michigan. Good evening. Lynn checking in from Texas. I like it. Patty from Pennsylvania. Corey from Connecticut. Good evening to all of you. Let's see. Bloomington. Patricia's checking in. Alice says, I'm from Phoenix. Anyone else here? Anyone else from Phoenix? I think so. Yeah. Kathy, you still have to watch the indie video? Yeah, the indie video is a good one. It's about an hour and 22 minutes long. I've been re-listening to it again as I run. So I have about probably 10 minutes left or so to re-listen to the entire episode again, but I liked it a second time. Over on Instagram, we have folks who are from Arizona. So we need to, Instagram folks, you need to get on Facebook and Facebook on Instagram or something. Very fun. Kathy is coming in from New Hampshire. Good evening to you. Amy's saying to Marsha, hello, way to go on your 1.4 pound weight loss today. Woohoo! So, yeah, I can't see. Something changed with Facebook because now when I click see more, I don't get the option to see more comments. So, very, very fun. Lisa, hello from Minnesota. Good evening to you. Nicole says perfect timing. Just finished binging. Whew. Well, stick around. We will get you locked in for sure. Let's see who else is here. Kathy checking in from California. Danielle checking in from Chicago. Very, very, very fun. All right. Maria says, cool shirt. Love Vineyard Vines. Yep. It's my Vineyard Vines t-shirt. I love it. I love it. I love it. Karis, good evening. How are you? Danielle says, sorry, I couldn't go to Indy. That's okay. We're going to DC next, and then Phoenix. And then San Francisco. Right, San Francisco. Right? Isn't that what I said? Yeah. So, and then that's it for 2018. Real quick, and I'll put a link out there. So I'm going to send an email first, but I got the last box of shirts in today. I don't not plan on reordering them. So I'll put an email out to those going to DC and those and San Fran, so that you can have the first dibs on them, and then I've got to get rid of these things. They're just sitting here, crazy. So cool. All right, let me see. Yeah, Kathy says sending love to those in the path of Florence. I completely agree. Hildy says Indy meeting was amazing, better than any meeting. I agree. So very cool. All right, I'm gonna skip ahead. Let's get the longer comments. I don't know why Facebook. If you click see more, it doesn't see more. It brings up some weird stuff. So I don't know. Jennifer, Northern New York. Good evening. Let's see. I'm gonna skip around if I missed. Oh, you know what? You're right because I rebooted Facebook. Let me fix the flag. Thank you for letting me know. Switch that. Hang on. Do. There we go. Thank you for reminding me. So it was fixed before, and then when I had to reboot, I had to reboot. Yeah, Mandy says can't wait till the 19 shirts are out. Yeah, I agree. Jeannie, I can't do the see more. When I hit see more, it doesn't see more. So we'll get the next release, I guess. Cool. All right, episode 221. Are you ready? Let's do this. Now, Lee, don't interrupt this time, Lee. Okay? That's a direct order. Ha, Corey says, oh my goodness, thanks for flipping. Yeah, I didn't realize it was backwards. Yeah, I'm sorry. So I mean, I don't even know quantity-wise on the 2018 shirt. I bet you I'm down to a little over a dozen, maybe. And so I'm going to send an email soon to the folks who are going to DC and the folks who are going to San Francisco in case they want one. And then, like I said, I've got to get rid of them. So cool. Amy says, loved your city. It'll be even more amazing on a nice sunny day. Yeah, we had that today. It was absolutely gorgeous today. So you should have come back. You're more than welcome. So, all right. Are we good? Episode 221. Cheers. You got your water ready? Water. See, I don't even need to do a mic check now because I can see it right in front of me. I can tell that the audio is actually really, really good. So, all right, here we go. Cheers. Ah, look at that. Hang on. Woo. All right. I went to hit record, and it said no SD card. So it's kind of hard to record without an SD card. Dandy, checking in from Texas. Good evening to you. Let's see. It says Facebook's freezing up. I don't know that Facebook. So the problem with a live broadcast, I have 3 streams going for one. My internet is okay, but it also depends on your internet on your side as well. But cheers. Let's get this done. Here we go. Cheers. I gotta hit record. Dandy, I don't know. I literally, hang on, Instagram's going to give a little preview, right? Instagram, ready? Watch this. So this is my phone for Instagram, and I'm going to pick it up. I'm going to do this. And then this is the recorder. That's Facebook, and that is YouTube. That one is not turned on, and neither is that one right there. But they could be turned on later. So how do I keep it straight? Yeah, I have no idea. I really don't. And then so we flip this back around. So yeah, so that's a little. Facebook got a little. Instagram got a little bit of a sneak preview. So I sit here and I'm watching 4 different things, making sure it all works out for y'all. So cool. All right, here we go. Episode 221. Let's do this. Everyone over here says Facebook is fine. So cool. All right. I am your host, Fat Dag. You're listening to Wise Advice. My weight loss journey failed when I focused on how. It wasn't until I switched my focus to why that I truly transformed myself. Join the show on the web at fatdag.com and follow along on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, all at Wise Advice. Send in your comments, your questions, your celebrations. I'll include them as part of the show. But before we dive in, remember, when you're out of points, stop eating points. Hey, I'm honored to be your wingman as we walk through this journey together because I believe in you. Well, hello. Welcome to episode 221 of Wise Advice. And if you're just joining us for the very first time, I want to give you a quick little update and catch up as to what is going on here. We're a community of amazing people who are absolutely, completely changing our lives because we realized that at some point we finally said we have to change our lives, get healthy, get in shape, lose some weight, and just really be the best version of us. So that's what this show is all about. You can find it on fatdag.com for sure. You can get it in your app store if you're not already listening from the app. Search for Wise Advice with Fat Dag. It's in iHeartRadio, it's in Stitcher Radio, it's in Spotify. Wherever you can find a podcast, the podcast certainly is there. So thank you for joining us. We have an amazing community. Just about every single episode, the show is 100% user content driven. What that means is you send in your emails, I read them, I kind of summarize them in my words and give you a little bit of perspective back. And that's how this goes. So it really is dependent upon you shooting in your email. And it's funny, I look at my inbox and so many folks write in and say, I've written this email 10 times and have yet to send it. So, it's time to send it in. And it's fun when we get a live audience. So we're live on Facebook, live on Instagram, and of course, live on YouTube. Instagram chimes in. So this is my first time watching live. I thought this was pre-recorded, the opening of the show. No, every single show we record, I record it all the way from the very beginning, just for you to keep it real and keep it going. So the very first email for this show comes in from Dan out of Winnipeg. Dan says internationally, "Hey Mike, I'm writing to you to say, I finally seem to have a focus I've been searching for a long time. In September 2009, I joined Weight Watchers, and by June 2010, I'd gone from 260 pounds to 187. I was a model Weight Watcher member. I weighed and measured almost everything. I seldom went over my points. I think I did everything right more than 80% of the time. I was 7 pounds away from goal. 7 pounds from standing up in front of that room and getting the tiniest trophy. Yet, to us Weight Watcher members, that key means so much more than just like the Super Bowl, the World Series, the NBA title, the Stanley Cup, all in one little key. The trophy was just right there in a drawer. It's in the meeting room. All I had to do was get up and go get it. Well, from there, I fell off the wagon. I ballooned up to 290 pounds. I joined once again in 2016. Most weeks I'd put some effort in, but not the effort that's required. Finally, after some much needed soul searching, I realized I cannot estimate portions. I need the guidelines by Weight Watchers. I spent 4 weeks this summer riding my bike, and I built it up to the point where I can ride 10 kilometers. That inspired me that if I can do that, why can't I train for a 5K run? I've been doing the Couch to 5K app, and I signed up for a 5K run on September 30th. It's a CIBC run for the cure to raise money for breast cancer. As I run, it gets easier and easier. I'm running further and faster every day that I do it. Well, it seems, but now I have something to work for. Saturday night, I was trying to pump myself up. I listened to Triple H's WWE theme music, The Game. And Sunday and Monday, that was my approach to this plan. Everything I ate, I measured, I tracked. I got my first 2 honest A+ effort days in a very long time. Yes, I've earned many blue dots, but were they as honest as they should have been? Maybe not. The opening lines in his theme music are, "It's time to play the game, time to play the game. It's all about the game and how you play it. All about control and if you can take it." All about control and if you can take it. This program gives you the tools to take control, and as long as I can take that approach day in and day out, I will be your Weight Watcher colleague in no time. Dan from Winnipeg. Dan, thank you for sitting down, getting your focus back, and getting back on track to where you need to be. You start your journey again with an amazing attitude of and an amazing opportunity to understand you. When you first joined, you went from 260 to 187, 7 pounds from goal. What you did there, what you learned during that process is that you learned that you can do this. That is the absolute key. And then sure, you got 7 pounds from the goal and that trophy right in the room. All you had to do is get up and get it. I hear that so many times. I've been close to that myself. I understand it. That key is more valuable than the Super Bowl title, the World Series, the NBA title, the Stanley Cup. It is. And the reason that I think that is more valuable is because it's yours. So when you watch someone in your favorite team and they win the Super Bowl, there's a disconnect still. You can be a fan all you want, but it's not you getting the trophy. It's someone getting the trophy. So it's like sitting in the meeting room and watching other people collect their key. It's awesome to watch. It's amazing to watch, but there's a part of you that says, I want it too. So when you say it's there, it's yours for the taking, it absolutely is yours for the taking. We keep them in the meeting room. So they're very accessible. All you have to do is tell us you want one. You tell us you want one by showing up every week. You tell us you want one by tracking every single week. You tell us you want one by just doing the program, how it benefits you to get success. 7 pounds from goal. And what happened is you got into that complacency stage where you knew that it was happening. You were confident in your abilities. And then life probably comes in, distracts you for a little bit. Needing the guidelines set by Weight Watchers, that accountability is the hardest part. What happens in a lot of times is that we understand it works, and so we keep trying to work it, but we haven't really ingrained the habits that we need long-term for success. That's what Lifetime is there for, and that's why we encourage you to keep going to the meetings, because that level of accountability certainly carries you much more further into your journey than simply hitting goal. Goal is an amazing accomplishment. Lifetime is an amazing accomplishment. But the true accomplishment is maintenance well beyond goal, well beyond lifetime, where you have now living a healthy, happy, balanced life. Congrats on getting out on your bike. That is so awesome. Riding a 10K, and getting that inspiration, saying if I can ride that, I can run. What I take out of your email is you set small goals along the way, and those small goals prove to you that you can do this. I talk about attendance goals all the time. There's no sense getting out and trying to kill yourself in one workout where you can't ever do it again. But instead, what you do is you set a small goal and you just do something slowly every single day, and you build up and you build up and you build up, and that teaches the brain that you like feeling successful, that you like checking things off, that you like being accomplished. And the more you start checking things off your list, the more you want to check more off your list. And that is what's happening as you now say, I want to go out and run a 5K. Way to pick a 5K for an amazing cause. Great work there. But you're absolutely right. You now do have something to work for. You have a goal. And it's not just a goal in your weight loss, but you have a goal in your fitness as well. Continue setting goals. Keep the goals front of your mind and go out and absolutely do this. So now that you're now refocused in and you have 2 honest A+ effort days in a very long time, you've earned the blue dots for real this time. Now you know again that you can do this. That's what we're educating ourselves on, is we're just teaching ourselves that we can do it. That's where the power comes through, and that's where the brain finally makes a shift, and you absolutely go out and get it done. So Dan, thank you for your amazing email. Can't wait to hear when you get to goal this time, when you get that goal key. I actually have one sitting right in front of me as well. So for those joining online, I'll show you. It's right here. It's absolutely worth getting. And Dan, you're going to get one, my friend. Keep it up. At Braintree, Massachusetts, Alicia writes in. She says, Dear Fat Dag, I've started and stopped writing this email too many times to count. But I think it's time for me to share my story. I'm 25 years old. I started Weight Watchers on May 15th, 2017. I've been obese my entire life. Now, every time I start this email, I think of the different ways that I got to where I was when I first started. I would start to talk about watching my mother eat ice cream and frosting for breakfast. Or I would talk about my mother needing lap band surgery because her liver was failing, and how that caused me to go on an emotional eating rampage. The last email before this one talked about my most recent illness, with a degenerative neuromuscular disorder, and how it almost drove me off the rails. Yes, some of my issues stem from my relationship with my mother, but this is my story, not hers. I am here because of my actions and mine alone. As I was growing up, I always had people telling me I needed to lose weight. My doctors, my friends, my family, but I didn't see the need. I didn't want to lose weight because I had people telling me I needed to lose it. I would just ignore them and go on with what I believe now to be a disgusting eating habit. It was just a disgusting habit. I would always plan my junk food, pizza on Wednesdays, McDonald's on Friday, and just random junk in between. It wasn't until I went to college that I realized that I really needed to do something, and even then I didn't really try. Fast forward to May 2017. I'm sitting on my living room couch talking to my mother about a family vacation we'll be taking the next year. At this point, I was sitting at my heaviest, 300 pounds. I wanted to do something to change. I joined Weight Watchers and started doing well immediately. The first month I did online only, and I'd lost 18 pounds. After the first month, I decided I needed more accountability, and I decided to join the meeting to give it a try. I loved it. I love my leader. I love the receptionist, and I love the meeting itself. Now it's something I look forward to every Wednesday. I get to go hang out with a great group of people. Well, since joining the meeting in June 2017, I've lost over 75 pounds. I went on my family vacation, gained a little bit, but and I'm working on getting rid of that again. And somewhere along the way, I found the Fat Dag podcast. Listening to them has given me an extra boost to get me through some very difficult times. I always listen to them when I feel an emotional eating rampage coming on, and it stops me from going crazy. in ending my rant, I just wanted to say thank you, Fat Dag. You, your amazing listeners, and this podcast really do help keep me going. I wish you good focus, and I do believe in you. Alicia out of Massachusetts. Alicia, great email. And so let's go all the way back to the beginning. Thank you for writing in. And as you ended your email too, you say the amazing community and the podcast of us sharing is what got you here. And so you now contributing back to that effort with your email is key. So thank you for that. I know it takes many times, and I've seen so many emails come into my inbox where people say I've started and stopped this email, so many times I can't count. And so thank you for developing that courage to say, you know what, this needs to get shared and I need to put it out. So thank you for that. It's interesting how how you opened your email. You say, thinking of the different ways you got to where you were, and how you were able, watching your mom eat, ice cream and frosting for breakfast. And I said this on the last couple episodes: is our children are watching us, whether we know it or not. They are watching us, and there are lessons that they are learning from us that we may not be intending to teach. So keep that in the back of your mind as we go through that. But it doesn't truly matter how you got here. It doesn't matter how you ended up to where you're at now. Wherever you are now is the first day of your new life, and you can now push forward and make a completely different change. So as much as all that matters and all that plays into your life story, it doesn't define your future. Your future is defined as what you do from this point forward, the actions you take, and it's that simple to completely change your life. Just do something different tomorrow than you did today. It truly is that simple in a sense, but of course we know life gets in our way and we have to kind of revert back into our habits, so it's very important at that point to develop healthy habits. But I want to kind of clarify one thing. You said, I am here because of my actions and mine alone. And while I agree with that, I don't want you to be so hard on yourself. Your actions are formed based on an education that you received. And so while I agree, your actions are what led you here, but let's understand that the education you received led you to make some choices that now you are starting to learn may not have been the best choices. That's growth. When you understand that now you're in charge and you're capable, you have the ability to make a plan. You said it in your email. You always planned your junk food, pizza on Wednesday, McDonald's on Friday. That's a plan. It was a plan that wasn't aligned with the goal you currently have today, but the ability to make that plan is what will carry you to goal. Now you just got to substitute in what that plan is going to look like and take a new plan, take a new approach to this. And that's what's going to get you to where you need to be in life. So, as you were growing up, people were always telling you had to lose weight, and your doctors, your family, your friends, everyone. I get that. Every time I heard it, it made me cringe as well because I knew it, to some extent. And not only did I know it, I didn't want to hear it. So we get tired of someone telling us, but at the same point, we already know that. So it does kind of keep us in that path. Okay, I got to get this done. And you're absolutely did that. Online only for a little while, 18 pounds. That's incredible work doing it online only. I love the fact that you understood that you personally needed a little bit more accountability. Off to the meeting room. You have to fall in love with the process. Whatever process you choose, whether it's online only, whether it's meetings only, whether it's a completely different plan altogether, you have to fall in love with you enough to love every little bit of what you're doing. If you love what you're doing, it makes it so much easier to keep doing it. I say before, don't fight this journey. Don't struggle the journey. Find things that you actually enjoy doing. Find ways to make them happier and healthier, and keep doing them. I love that you love your leader, you love the receptionist, you love the meeting itself, and you love hanging out with a group of amazing people. That's why you keep going to the meeting. If you hate it, I say this in my meeting to the new folks. I'm like, hey, if you're sitting here at the end of this 30 minutes, you said, man, I cannot stand that dude. He rambles too much. He talks too much. And that's going to stop you from going to the meeting because you don't want to come see me. Then you need to find a meeting that resonates with you. Alicia, I'm glad to see that you have found the perfect meeting for you. That clearly has contributed to your 75-pound weight loss. Pretty freeing. Is it pretty amazing to know that you did that? You turned your complete life around, enjoyed your vacation. Now you're back at it, getting it done. I have no doubt in your ability. I have no doubt that you can accomplish any single goal that you want to accomplish. I do wish you good focus, and I absolutely believe in you. And so thanks for writing in and sharing your story, like I said, with the amazing group that we have here and really helping to inspire others. So thank you so much for doing that. The next email comes in from Pookie. She says, Fat Dag, first, let me say I so appreciate your podcast and the time and dedication you bring to helping us help ourselves. I've been listening for some time now. I hook up to not one, but two of your podcasts on my daily walks. I also credit your motivation for kickstarting my own. I am, however, slightly confused by something I've heard you say repeatedly. It's in response to someone who's made a lifetime, whether currently or sometime in their past. And what I'm sure is meant as a motivational encouragement, you congratulate them for achieving it, and then you'll often tag on something along the lines of, getting the lifetime isn't something many people do. I'm always left scratching my head by this because isn't the point that if you keep your focus and you work the program, staying within your points, etc., that reaching goal and lifetime is within everyone's grasp? It especially seems out of place because your podcast carries such a strong emphasis on getting to that place of knowing you never have to lose weight again. Also, I was listening to episode 82 today where someone had written in and thought that she was at goal and she was concerned because she felt compelled to continue to see losses on the scale. To my ear, it sounded like you were assuring her that now that she had reached her goal, her body would just find its balance and that she wouldn't keep losing. I was a bit surprised because given the right psychological conditions, she could. After all, it's not unheard of that losing weight, even through a healthy program, can end up triggering an eating disorder. Her email and your response resonated with me as a dear friend who was heavy when we were in college, lost weight through Weight Watchers years ago. When she reached goal in lifetime, she is to this day, years later, so compelled by the numbers on the scale that she controls her food intake to the point of obsession. Despite having gotten so terribly thin, like anorexic, she constantly comments on how fat she is, and she shaves points to striving to lose a few more ounces. It's so very sad how it's taking over her life. Well, that's about it. I just wanted to send you a huge compliment and some food for thought. Thanks for hearing me out. Keep up your incredible work. Best, Pookie. Pookie, thank you for the honest feedback. And so let me just, I'll clarify for you, right? I do believe and stand by what I say is that when you push through, when you make it to goal, when you make it to lifetime, you are a part of a very small crowd. Yeah, there are very few people who actually make it to lifetime. And the reason I share that isn't to discourage you, it is to motivate you. And what you need to understand is that you are absolutely right as you summarize. 100% of the people watching, listening, and hearing this right now have that ability to get there. So don't confuse the two. Don't confuse your ability to get there with how many people actually take themselves up on that offer and do it. I want you to take yourself up. I want you to learn every bit about you in this journey so that you can join this group. It's not a closed group. Every single person is welcome. Where the membership will always be open to anybody who wants to join. And so the reason I share it is because I want someone who made it to really understand how much work went into doing that. I want them to be extremely proud of that. I don't want them to give that up ever. I want the rest of you to want to get there as well. I want the rest of you to say, you know what, damn it, I want that too. I want to get there. You can get there, and I want to be the one that reminds you that it's possible. So I get that, depending on how you heard it, I could see where the confusion is. But Man, I just really, I just know that it truly is possible. That's why I believe in you. That's why I open the show with, I believe in you. Because I do believe you can get there. And I believe every single person can get there. And, and just data wise, strictly, we'll have to have Lee crunch the numbers, but strictly data wise, every single day someone hits goal. Every single day someone hits lifetime. So it truly is possible. But every single day, someone else, quits going to the meeting. Every single day, someone else finally logs out of the app for the very last time and says, "I can't do this." And so the numbers don't balance out. More people, give up on themselves in this journey than are able to reward themselves with this such amazing goal that we have set forward. Now, when it comes to hitting goal and hitting lifetime, I recognized exactly what you said. And so as I was losing weight, I got to the point where I started noticing in my own journey that a slight food eating disorder addiction was creeping its way in. I was able to maintain my weight. I'm very happy with where I'm at. Everything is good, but I was noticing myself still having some bad habits that I didn't necessarily appreciate that were keeping me at goal. And so what I've had to do is, I just recently gave up caffeine as part of that because I was addicted to the caffeine. I want to see if I could mentally beat that barrier. Going on a month now, no caffeine, and it's actually no effect. There are certain protein bars, the Quest protein bar, for example, I would have, them as 2 or 3 meals a day, and that would be my only meal for the day on some days. And I realized that was obviously unhealthy. So I was developing a disorder trying to satisfy the scale number more than the healthy version of myself. So as I made the readjustments, sure, it had an impact to my scale number, but what I understand now is there is more to this journey than the complete single digit on the scale. I bring in balance into this program, and I say, I like to balance my life. I like to be happy. I get up this morning. I ran 2 miles again. I ran 2 miles yesterday. So back to back 2 mile runs at a decent pace. And I finally said, I'm happy, I'm fit, I'm healthy. And I'm now relearning how to eat some things that may have triggered an eating disorder in my journey alone. That is the piece that the responsibility gets shifted back to you. The responsibility to take care of yourself is 100% yours. The tools are there to use as a guideline. You will know when you reach goal. If you're continuing to satisfy a program and you're continuing to use one data point and one data point alone as your measure of success, and that data point that you choose is the scale, you will develop some sort of issue trying to use that. It's why we ask you to write down these non-scale victories. And I want you to celebrate the things that are going on in your life that are amazing. And when I can proudly say that, 2 days in a row, I'm able to, crush a nice 2 mile run and not even soar a little bit from it. I could probably go do it again right now if I really wanted to. And so that is a different, another number that I'm adding to the journey as I balance everything else out. So, my heart breaks for your friend. Hopefully, it's not a complete medical diagnosis, but, she obviously could, go see a doctor and get that completely diagnosed. But it's an interesting journey to say the least. And so I firmly believe you will know when you get the goal. You'll step on the scale and you say, "Hey, I don't know what the number is, but whatever it is, I feel great. I feel awesome. And I want to keep that going." And so the difference between, for many of us, the difference between, goal and 1 or 2 pounds or even 7 pounds above goal isn't a new pant size. For many cases, we don't walk into a restaurant at goal, have dinner, and have to go change before we leave because our clothes don't fit. So we have to kind of keep an eye on the big picture. And that big picture is what I'm striving to get all of us to recognize and see, is that there's so much more to this journey than that complete scale number. Now, certainly, I weigh myself every single day. It goes to Twitter, it goes to Facebook. You know that. You see that data. But that is one data point in my journey. That's all it is. And so yeah, and I'm not working to satisfy the scale. I'm working to satisfy a healthy eating pattern. And I'm very proud of the way I ate today. I'm very proud of the way I ate yesterday. And I'm just enjoying it. I'm not struggling with it. I'm not fighting it. I'm just enjoying this brand new life, and I'm able to enjoy it because I've developed healthy habits along the way, and those healthy habits truly came from me putting in the time, putting in the effort to get the education to understand my body and its relationship to food. That's what the program taught me. And so I'm now taking it to the next level, and I'm using that education to build and make the best version of me. And I want you to do the same. You absolutely can do this. And like I said, as when you get there, you'll get to goal in lifetime. And it's such an amazing accomplishment. It is unlike any other feeling I've ever had. I tell you, stepping on that scale for the very last time in a weight loss mode, not wanting to see it go down is different. It absolutely is different. So thank you for, obviously, again, for your candid feedback. I truly appreciate it. Hopefully that answers the question. If not, shoot an email back in. I'll be glad to talk with you more about it for sure. Marilee says, hi, Fat Dag. Hey, I really appreciate your podcast, your passion, and your leadership. In 2014, I started my own business, and my biggest struggle with my weight also began. While I'd rarely loved my body and I'd been at a weight where I felt totally comfortable, I was generally within 5 to 10 pounds of my ideal weight prior to March of 2014. Well, you see, I grew up with a thin, beautiful mom that said almost daily, oh, if I could just lose these last 5 to 10 pounds. I adopted this habit and mindset and also found myself always thinking I would be happy with my body if I could just lose the last 10 pounds. Luckily, my business had been successful, but an unexpected side effect turned out to be weight gain. I gained about 20 pounds in the first 3 months of my business venture, and my weight slowly crept up from there. I eventually gained 35 pounds, but I had lots of excuses. I was too busy to take care of myself. My husband was doing more of the grocery shopping and cooking, and so healthy foods weren't as readily available. My hormones were out of whack. It was all stress, weight, etc. I really believed that I couldn't be successful and take care of myself. Weight Watchers in your podcast showed me that I was wrong. I began following the program May of 2018. I lost 18 pounds in 7 weeks while traveling across South America with my family and eating out 2 meals each day. I saw that my excuses had just been that, excuses. I could be healthy and successful. My hormones, my age, stress, they weren't making me fat. My food choices were. I've lost 27 pounds since May, and I feel really great. But I also feel myself getting complacent. I still have 15 pounds to lose, and I'd love to feel completely confident in myself and my body. I've never experienced that before. I'm writing to you to let you know that your podcast has been a game changer for me. I'm in this for life, but I look forward to hitting my ideal weight. I'm looking forward to showing kids, my family, and most importantly, myself, that I can be successful, healthy, and confident. I'm on my way. Thank you for being such a great inspiration. Gratefully, Marilee. Marilee, thank you for this amazing event. 27 pounds. Congratulations on that. That is all you getting it done. Very proud of you. Very proud of you. I opened the show earlier with an email talking about, our kids are watching, right? And everything we do, our children, sometimes we teach them lessons we did not intend to teach. And in this case, your beautiful, healthy, thin mom said daily, if she could just lose the 5 or 10 pounds, that translated back into your journey where you had to, when you saw your mom looking beautiful, you saw your mom looking thin, and then so you understood from what her journey was is that she had to lose 10 pounds for herself to feel healthy, happy, and beautiful. And you've turned that and you've resonated that inside of you. And I want you to drop that. I want you to just ditch that mantra altogether. That's her life and that's separate than yours. And I want you to now understand that your life is completely different. You have the ability to do amazing things. You don't start a business without a plan. You don't certainly run a business without a plan. You don't run a business without focus, dedication, hard work, discipline. It takes a lot of effort to run a business. That same level of effort can also be used to maintain a healthy lifestyle. The good news is they can be done in conjunction. Once you finally understood that your excuses were just that, excuses, I think as we get through an amazing time in our life and we get through some hard times in our life, we do fall back into old habits. And so as the mind, starts building this new body, when it comes to stress and it comes to, long days and running out of time, you will fall back on what you know to be convenient. And what I want to have happen for you is I want that convenience to be the healthy alternative. And that's when the real true success comes in. When all of a sudden, you're craving an apple at 10 o'clock at night because that just tastes good and that's all you have in the house. I joked about this in my meeting the other night is that, it's very hard to munch on Oreos at 10 p.m. if you don't have them in the house. If you don't buy them, they're very difficult to get at midnight when you wake up and you're craving something. So what I want you to do is I want you to start looking at ways that you're already done because clearly you're having the success, but I want you to build healthy habits into your entire life so that your default mode, your fallback plan, the things that you do automatically on autopilot align with your goal. Not just your work goal, but your healthy living lifestyle goal. And when you get to that point, that's when you know you're on your way. And that point, the last 10 or 15 pounds or whatever you think you need to get to wherever you think goal is, it's going to happen automatically. That's what's going to happen. And so whether it's 5 pounds, whether it's 10 pounds, whether it's 15 pounds, what I want you to focus on is eating healthy, eating properly, and taking care of you, and let your body take care of the weight. That's how it works. And when you get there, you're clearly on your way. I'm glad to have you write in. But Corinne just says on Facebook, you've got to control your environment. And I'll summarize that as well because that's entirely it. And so, the places you put yourself in, the situations you put yourself in, make it easier or more difficult for you to stay on your goal. So it's in the grocery store, it's significantly easier to resist the temptation than it is when they're actually physically home when you paid for them. If you want them, you know the deal, right? If you want them, love them, track them, move on. But if you know you have a hard time with them, then make it a treat the once in a while that you want it versus having it as a staple. I mean, there were things on our grocery list that we bought every single week. Things that I never ever have anymore just because I don't want them. But they were a staple in this house. They were always in the cupboard. And so when it became time to munch on something, I always had an option of something unhealthy. Almost never did we have any apples or bananas in the house. Almost never did we have any fruit. Now it's just the opposite. So it's just an interesting way to just really, like I said, as Corinne said, control your environment. And as your environment now changes, you adapt to that environment. And that adaptation is what's going to carry you to goal, to lifetime, and keep you there for a very, very, very long time. When you get there, by all means, you come to the show and you celebrate. Let's share it on the air. Go to Fat. I want you to be proud of what you're doing. I want you to walk through this journey with everybody else who's also walking this journey. I want this community to truly understand every single aspect of this journey, and that can only happen when you take the time to send in your struggle, your email, your challenge, your celebration. And that is what makes us all happy to get this done. Well, that's going to do it for this time. Remember that losing weight and getting healthy has nothing to do with luck. You have to remain disciplined and focused. Set your sights on your goal and go after it. I wish you good focus. Woo! There we go. Episode 221 in the books. Let me shut this guy off. Cool. Awesome. Corinne says, I love hearing this live for the first time. It's fun live, isn't it? Bev says, I do not buy Oreos anymore. Yep. It's you got to kind of just, you got to set yourself up for success. Really, if you know you have a hard time, I said this to Stella. I don't know if Stella's still here. But one of the coolest pieces of advice, and I wish I would have understood it earlier. But one of the coolest pieces of advice I got from a pediatrician years ago, 17 years ago, of course. Megan at the time was sucking on a pacifier. And so we as parents, we wanted her to stop doing that because we've heard how it forms the mouth and all that good stuff. So we asked the pediatrician, we're like, hey, doc, really, we tried so many things. We're trying to, and we just need her to stop doing this. And he's like, Mike, or he didn't say Mike, but he goes, hey, do you want me to help you with that? And I'm like, sure. He goes, I'm telling you, this works every single time. And he walked up to her. He grabbed the pacifier out of her mouth. He put it in the trash can. He looked at us and he said, do not buy another one. And that was it. That was the last time she had a pacifier. So, it's a little extreme, but the reality was that she's not going to the store on her own to get them, right? So it was us enabling her to do that. So it's the same kind of concept here, is that whatever your weakness is, don't allow it to tempt you. Quit buying it. Easier said than done. I 100% get it, but that's the concept that we're working towards. So, cool. Maria says, I give up artificial flavoring 16 days and counting. So, woo, very cool. I haven't tried that one yet. I got rid of caffeine. You heard me during the show. I got rid of caffeine 30 days ago. Truly no issues. Everything's great. I did it only because I was curious if I could win the mental battle. Nothing more. I had heard from everybody, oh, I can't do it. It's so hard, blah, blah, blah. And it was, for me, it was truly a challenge. I wanted to see, do I have the mental ability to beat an addiction? 30 days now, I think it's 30 days. The last drop of caffeine I had was at the Philadelphia race. So no caffeine. So I'm winning the mental battle. And so obviously that's what's teaching me to have the self-control that I need in my journey. And so giving up caffeine was very instrumental for me in that. So Kristen says, I'm having difficulty getting past a plateau. I've been stuck at the same weight since March. So Kristen, there's two ways to break a plateau. Two. One of them is to gain weight. One of them is to lose weight. So if you're stuck on a plateau, the first thing we do is we celebrate the fact that we haven't broken it by gaining weight. Excuse me. That's a big victory in itself. It proves that you're still locked in, you're still dialed in, you're still focused, you're still wanting to get it done. Generally speaking, and I'm not a plateau expert by any stretch, but generally speaking, the plateau, episode 72 kind of talks about that. The plateau really is us not following the plan the way we did on day one. You heard on in this show, Dan's email said, he was a perfect model Weight Watcher, tracking everything, weighing everything, measuring everything, and had great success. As he was doing that, I'm sure he wasn't on a plateau. And then at some point we get that complacency. We feel good. We look better. And then all of a sudden we don't track nearly as much. Maybe the extra point here or there isn't that big of a deal. The extra bite here or there isn't a big deal. And then all of a sudden we realize that it didn't work. And then so we get real disciplined for 2 or 3 days. And then we get undisciplined for 2 or 3 days. And then we get and that kind of keeps us leveling out. So I want you to just really, at that point, dig back in, say, why am I doing this? Get refocused on that and get it done. So it looks like the video, the video on YouTube is frozen up, but the audio usually can carry through for sure. So, Andrea, thank you. Yep. Steve points out that short plateaus can be biological. Right. From March to now is not a plateau. March to now is not following the program as designed, truly. So there are times where if you're eating the same things over and over again, and you're doing the same workout over and over and over again, your body does level out. Yes, by all means. But that's usually that plateau is 1 to 2 weeks or so. It's not March to September, generally speaking. And again, I commented first. I'm not an expert on plateaus, but what I do know is that even on a plateau, you can still eat healthy. You can still make you can still make good, healthy, happy choices and get decent amounts of physical activity, whatever that means at your activity level. So, Instagram, you're going to time out in 41 seconds. Probably not reboot you. So if you're interested in the last little bit of rant, then it'll be on Facebook and on YouTube. But we're going to let Instagram time out in 30 seconds. So I'll end the show for you guys and say thank you for being here. Thanks for being my wingman. Thanks for walking with me. Thanks for sharing this your evening with me. So I appreciate that. So on that note, the journey has nothing to do with luck, right? We know that. So I wish you good focus, and truly, I believe in you. So good night. So, okay, well, that's timing out. So let's see here. Donna says, I'm working on my why too with Bev. It's hard work. Yeah, it is hard work. And I shared that post about, the 5 questions to help you find your why. And I think that's very important. I think as we go through this process, it's you got to know why. And I know I wrote that down. I forgot to address it during the show, but let me find it here. Oh, that's what it was right here. So, in Alicia's email, she says it was especially seemed out of place because your podcast carries such a strong emphasis on getting to that place of knowing you never have to lose weight again. And then she talks about me saying that lifetime isn't something everyone is able to do. And so what happens is a lot of people give up along somewhere in the journey because they're so focused on how to do this. And that how doesn't carry you. When the how becomes boring, you either give up or find a new how. So if you're able to find a new how and a new how and a new how and a new how and a new how, you can maintain that for a very, very, very long time until hopefully you develop your why. But for a lot of people is that how becomes boring and they give up on it and because the how is not going to motivate you, which is why I do encourage you to really seek out why you're doing this. So that's a little bit of the mini rant for there. So on that note, let's go ahead and wrap this up. Let's get this thing published so you can have it as you get up in the morning and go for a walk, go for a run, whatever you do, as you're driving, whatever it takes. So on that note, thank you truly for being here. YouTube, let's say good night to you. 61 minutes, 38 seconds and counting. So same thing I told the folks on Instagram. Thank you for being here. I'll walk with you. I'll be your wingman. And I wish you good focus, and I believe in you. Good night.